Edge rusher Rueben Bain Jr. brings a dominant force to the New York Jets defense in our post-Super Bowl mock draft.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson. I'm an NFL draft analyst with Bleacher Report. And as always, thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen of the day. And thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network in America. It's all because of you. We have a new mock draft, a post-Super Bowl mock draft that we dropped over at Bleacher Report. And I'm going to break it down, starting with the first 10 picks on today's show. We're going through picks 1 through 4, then 5 through 7, and close out with picks 8 through 10. And guys, the Super Bowl is over, which means it's draft season. But before we get into all of that, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The winter games are on. There's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game. At number 1 in our mock draft, I was a part of the, I work over at Bleacher Report, so we dropped a new mock and everything. So started with number 1. It's been chalk. It's going to probably stay chalk. The Las Vegas Raiders select quarterback Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. At number 2, the New York Jets select edge rusher Rueben Bain Jr. out of Miami. At number 3, the Arizona Cardinals select offensive tackle Spencer Fano out of Utah. And at number 4, the Tennessee Titans select linebacker / edge Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. I mean, what do we need to say about number 1, right? Nothing. Raiders run the card up. The draft starts at 2. So let's jump right down to the second overall pick in our mock, and that is edge rusher Rueben Bain Jr. I want to talk to the New York Jets fans here, and I want to tell you something. I want to encourage you. You have 2 first-round picks this year. You have 3 first-round picks in 2027, and you got a litany of other picks this draft, just in general. If the New York Jets don't screw this up, and they do right by drafting the right play, drafting good players. Don't overthink it. Draft impact players that's going to set a culture and set the floor and raise the ceiling of this team. When you draft your quarterback next year, you're going to be in the position to say, you know what? The following year, we're ready to compete. You look at yourself like the New England Patriots, and in year 2, you're competing in the AFC East with Josh Allen and Drake May, with the Bills and with the Patriots, and trying to be a prominent team in the AFC conference. You can do that. You have the 2nd overall pick 16, pick 33, I think pick 44, and then 103. I'm going to be honest with you, BPA, best player available, and that's what we did for you here at pick number 2. Getting Rueben Bain Jr. Rueben Bain Jr. is going to bring the winning attitude. He's going to bring that mentality of just ferocity, power, strength, high motor, high effort, a guy that can win and get to the quarterback. And we're going to be doing his breakdown actually on tomorrow's show, his full breakdown, strengths, concerns, comps, all of that. Me and Keith will be breaking that down. So please stay tuned for tomorrow's show. But back to this situation, Jets, you need to continue to bolster that pass rush. You lost Quinnen Williams. Jermaine Johnson's contract is up or should be getting close to being up. Like, you need to find a guy. And I always say this, you need a dude. And you need somebody that also not just can get after the quarterback, but that can finish. And Rueben Bain Jr. proved that. He lived in opposing offenses backfield this year. But when you have a guy like Josh Allen that's 240 some odd pounds at 6'5", right? When you have a guy built like that, that's hard to tackle, you need somebody that's built like Rueben Bain, that's built and suited to bring him down and make that tackle. So I think this was a home run hit. Listen, it's not a beauty pageant. Measurements mean nothing if you don't know how to play football. I know there's a lot of talk about Will Campbell and his arm length, but I'm going to tell you something, guys. Check your own Twitter accounts. You weren't talking about Will Campbell's arm length throughout the season. The playoffs might have been rough for the young man, but it's also his first year in the league and first playoffs. So cut him some slack. Point is, Rueben Bain Jr. may not have the 34-inch arms, but it does not matter. Tape is what matters. Skill set is what matters. Can you win? Can you get home? And he can do those things. Now, this is a pick I think We need to, as a community, get comfortable with this. Arizona Cardinal fans, get comfortable with this. At pick 3, no QB, no Ty Simpson, no Trinidad Chambliss, none of that. You take an offensive tackle. You have Paris Johnson as your left tackle, your blindside protector. You need somebody that's going to give you a bookend on the opposite side. You have not had a long-term answer there for years. And I think it was like Kelvin Beachum was there. And I remember when I worked for SB Nation and I forget the other site that I worked for years ago, covering the Cardinals. That was the situation I couldn't stand. I'm like, how Beachum was a solid vet, but to me, he was a swing tackle that you should have found a long-term answer. And they never did that. And now it's kicking them in the butt. Spencer Fano is going to be able to fix that for you, handle that for you. Strength, good footwork, athleticism. He can move people in the run game, but be that pass protector that you're going to need for your quarterback and having 2 bookend tackles. It's like this, guys. Having one lockdown corner, it's not great. It's not good enough in the NFL anymore, right? Ask the Carolina Panther fans how much they love Mike Jackson, right? Not beat it Mike Jackson, but Mike Jackson, they got through free agency, right? Not the king of pop, not that Mike Jackson, not the Hall of Fame, not the greatest of all time, right? But a good version of Mike Jackson, and that's the cornerback. Pairing him with J.C. Horn, who's their top tier, elite level type of corner, yeah, that makes like having 2 guys. Now, when you want to attack them, ask Matthew Stafford. He picked them off, I think maybe once or twice. They played him 2 times this season, right? I think he had a pick 6 the first game. So, nonetheless, you need 2 bookend tackles. It allows your interior offensive line to combo and tandem block and take out the number 1 or the best interior defensive lineman, and then let the other guy go one-on-one because you feel comfortable with 3 guys on the island. We double team 1. If you want to get to us for 4, we have 5. We have numbers in our advantage, right? So I think Spencer Fano being able to go, he would fit well. I think especially with getting Mike LaFleur, not Matt Fleur, but Mike LaFleur, coming from that type of tree. I'm expecting to run that wide zone, stretch zone type of run game. Fano can work well, being able to, cut off and seal and climb to the next level and, set soft edges for the running back on the perimeter. So definitely watch, that's one that I really, really like. I think it's either going to be him or I think Francis Maui Noah, but I could see Fano being there and being a good fit. And then lastly, guys, number 4, Tennessee Titans getting linebacker / edge Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese is like, I'm not comfortable taking him at 2. Simply because of the fact that we're projecting a lot. Yes, he's going to measure in well. He's going to test well. He's going to look every bit of the part, right? He's going to look the part. LTP, he's going to look the part. Straight up, right? He's going to look the part. But again, it's a lot of projection. For me, I think Tennessee can toggle with and play around with, like, hey, we can try and Micah Parsons you, let you play off-ball backer to start the game or on those first and second downs, those run downs. And then when it's third down, you unleash him as a pass rusher, right? But for every Micah Parsons, there's a Baron Browning who didn't hit that ceiling of being that highly impactful, like multifaceted linebacker edge rusher hybrid, right? We have not seen Drew Sanders, who came out of Arkansas, who could do the same thing ever since he got hurt for the Broncos. So I think that his best ball projecting him going forward is him going forward, attacking the line of scrimmage from the edge, working. He can work as a big sandbacker. He can cover. He can drop off. So he still gives you that you want to go some fire zone, things of that nature. You send in pressure, overload pressure from one side. You drop him off as the curl of flats guy, and then quarterback doesn't see him and he picks him off, right? There's a lot of different things you can do with Arvell Reese, but I think the Titans being able to put him beside what's his name, Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best in the league, putting him beside an elite defensive tackle. Yeah, you got to get after Daniel Jones because the Colts, for whatever reason, want to pay him. So yeah, you made your bed, you got to lay in it now. So you got to get Daniel Jones if they can figure out that contract and he gets healthy. Trevor Lawrence, you got to get after him, and you want to just dominate the Texas offensive line as well. So I think that makes a ton of sense overall. And I think just, again, yes, you could go wide receiver here for Cam Ward, but I want to bolster this defense to where Cam can go out there and just say, you know what? I'm good. We're good. I don't have the pressure of carrying the offense and the team we can let the defense shut some things down and we can just play complimentary football. But guys, coming up next, we're going through picks 5 through 7. And I'm going to tell you why the Cleveland Browns got to steal. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The winter games are officially here. And if you're anything like us, you're locking in for events you only get to see on the biggest stage every 4 years. And that's why following the winter games on FanDuel just makes sense. From medal counts to individual events to finding your angle on the sports you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The drama of curling matches that start slow and somehow get intense fast, speed skating races decided by inches, hockey games that feel different right from the opening face-off. Even niche events become must-watch when you're fully locked and loaded into the competition. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game. Going through picks 5 through 7 of our latest post-Super Bowl mock draft with Bleacher Report. Guys, that's what we're getting into next. But thanks for being an everydayer. And if you want the show ad-free, please check out and consider joining the Everydayer Club and being an everydayer there. Just go to lockedonnfldraft.supercast.com to subscribe. All right, picks 5 through 7. At number 5, the New York Giants select offensive tackle Francis Maui Noah out of Miami. At pick 6, the Cleveland Browns get arguably the best player in the class, safety Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. At pick 7, the Washington Commanders select edge rusher David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Let's go number 6. Let's start there, right? Let's start there. The same thing I said about Cam Ward, I'm going to say here. If Shedeur Sanders is the answer, right? If you feel as a Browns brass that and with Todd Monken and everything there, Andrew Berry, if it is Shedeur's team, right? I think Myles Garrett was on the Super Bowl show with Micah Parsons, and he made a statement saying we fit the last quarterback we had starting with Shedeur Sanders. He's going to be the first to get the opportunity in this next offseason training program and periods, right? In a couple months. So, hey, you let him, you if you feel that he's the guy, let him roll with it. And, worst case scenario, he stinks it up. You get a top pick next year and you draft a quarterback, right? But for me, it's the same thing. I want to continue to build up this defense and get an impact player on the defensive side of the ball to go with, Grant Delpit and Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett and Mason Graham. And I want that. Carson Schlesinger. And you don't have Jeff Schwartz is no longer there for the Browns, but I think this pick for Cleveland makes so much sense, man. You get a highly impact player who watched the Super Bowl. And last year we got real cute with Nick Emenwar's profile and his evaluation. And he's a Super Bowl champion. And he's one of the big reasons why this defense was so good. His ability to play man-to-man coverage, his ability to blitz, his ability to stop the run and do all these different things. Caleb Downs can do similar things. It's a less of an athletic profile and a smaller body type profile, but nonetheless, highly instinctive, high football IQ football player. The Browns will absolutely love Caleb Downs. He's played at Ohio State, so he's kind of right there in your backyard in a sense. And you get to put this guy in the nickel. He's a +1 in the run game. He can blitz. He's going to be able to get everybody lined up properly. But then he gives you playmaking ability because he will attack the ball. And honestly, he's going to bait you into some vulnerable throws, right? Some turnover-worthy plays, if you will. So I definitely think that this is probably my favorite pick from picks 5 through 7 is the Browns getting Caleb Downs. Now, let's go back up. I like Francis Maui Noah to the New York Giants. They need to find that right tackle and everything. And I think Maui Noah, go back to last year when they were, 2024, when they had Damian Martinez, and even this year with Mark Fletcher. He's a dominant run blocker. This dude he blocks very well in the run game. He's going to move people, displace people. He's physical. He's powerful, strong hands, all of that, right? I believe he's got over 33-inch arms, so he's going to pass the mark. And I think he's going to be a good tackle in the NFL. And being able to put him opposite of Andrew Thomas, right? I think that makes a lot of sense, especially if they don't bring back Jermaine Illuminor. Maybe he goes somewhere and gets a bigger bag, and now you got to replace that. Well, now you can do that with a cost-efficient contract like a Francis Maui Noah. And when listen, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the fact that, hey, you're going to get Cam Scatterboo back, and that run through a brick wall running style that he brings, and that physicality and attitude that he's going to add back to that backfield with Tyrone Tracy. And you want to protect Jackson Dart. I don't want Jackson Dart having to run, man. I feel like the way he plays and the carelessness of protecting his body, I'm not like, listen, you're not that big, bro. You're not like Cam. It took a while, but Cam Newton got beaten down. Andrew Luck got beaten down, right? And these guys are much bigger quarterbacks than you ever were. So I just, man, I think for me, I think Francis Maui Noah will be able to protect him with Andrew Thomas, give him the time in the pocket, let him develop and continue to grow as a passer. He showcased some flashes and some good stuff. Continue to build around him, and you may have your next quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years, New York Giants. Francis Maui Noah. If Spencer Fano's gone, Francis Maui Noah. Outstanding pick and fit. And then this one right here, 7, man. I know I said Caleb Downs was my favorite. I liked all 3 picks, honestly. I mean, I was in part of the conversation, right? And I think I might have helped make this pick and sell their team, sell the crew over at Bleacher Report on the Commanders taking David Bailey. And for me, it's simple. Get after the quarterback. Dan Quinn needs a guy. He needs a bucket getter. Fourth quarter, 3rd and 10, 4th and 5, 4th and 7, game on the line. I got to get to Dak Prescott. I got to get to Jalen Hurts. I got to get to Jackson Dart. David Bailey is one of the most just high motor, skilled rushers. That inside spin counter. He's got enough bend and dip and bend. He may not have the ankle flexion to turn on the 90-degree angle. Hey, guys, let me tell you something. That's overrated, okay? It's overrated. You got to be able to get through offensive tackles and offensive linemen. He can do that. He got speed to power conversion. His arm length is going to be more than enough and more than sufficient. And then, like I said, his ability to spin inside. I want to see him use the outside, spin more. He knows how to knock and, hey, there's a phrase we use. Clear the hands, clear the man. And he knows how to do that, guys. So I think for the Commanders, getting to David Bailey would be a home run pick for them, especially with that defensive line they have, Jerjon Newton, Deron Payne, and all those guys. I think it just makes sense. I think it makes the most sense. Get that pass rusher. That's the one thing they're missing, in my opinion. And they've struggled rushing the passer, truthfully, in my honest opinion, having to be able to get easy wins since they let Chase Young walk. Or they traded him to San Fran, and now he's playing well over for the New Orleans Saints, who gave him a bag and paid him for his services. So David Bailey to the Washington Commanders. I'm telling you guys, it makes so much sense. At the end of the day, yes, it's a passing league. Got to get after the quarterback. But I always say 4th quarter, key moments. Do you have a guy? Do you have a guy in clutch moments as a pass rusher that can get the job done? Do you have a closer? Right? I could use any, like basketball. Do you have a bucket getter? I'm a Piston fan, right? I'm a Pistons fan, baby. Number 1 in the East. I'm a Pistons fan, okay? One of the clutchest players in the league is Cade Cunningham in the 4th quarter. I know in the 4th quarter, if we need a bucket, Cade can get it, right? Luka Doncic can get a bucket. Just it is what it is, right? Like, we know guys in the league that can get a bucket. Same thing, baseball, closer. Who's your closer? Who's the guy that can come in? We need a sack. We need a disruption. We need a fumble force. We need the pressure that's going to make the quarterback feel and see ghosts and hear footsteps. That's David Bailey out of Texas Tech. But guys, coming up next, we're going to close this thing out with picks 8 through 10. And let me tell you something. This might be the best stretch of this top 10. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stress or the guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online, and they will handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms and work to get you every single deduction. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off of your plate and get back to living your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shot for being our everydayers, guys. Picks 8 through 10 as we get ready to close out the top 10 of the mock draft that I was a part of over at Bleacher Report. And remember, guys, I will be dropping 2 more episodes going through, I think, picks 11 through 21, and then picks 22 through 32. Okay, so you're gonna get two bonus episodes this week. Look forward to tomorrow. Keith will be back. We're gonna break down Rueben Bain later on this week. We're gonna break down Cassius Howell probably on Friday, and on Thursday we're gonna break down David Bailey's game, pros, cons, comps, grades, all of that, right? All of that. But let's get into it. At pick number 8. We getting shucked tonight. We getting shucked tonight. We getting shucked tonight. We getting shucked tonight. We going Jeremiyah Love, RB1 out of Notre Dame to the New Orleans Saints at number 8. At number 9, the Kansas City Chiefs get my wide receiver 1, Jordyn Tyson out of Arizona State. At number 10, the Cincinnati Bengals select cornerback 1, Mansoor Delane out of LSU. Let's go back up to getting shucked tonight. Man, Jeremiyah Love, it's not close. It's not close at all in terms of who's RB1. It is Jeremiyah Love. Is he the most natural runner? I think Jadarian Price, his teammate, is a more natural runner, but this is a home run hitter. This is a guy that can catch the ball in the backfield. He does everything, pass, protect, all of it. When I look at the Saints, yes, wide receivers in need, right? And you just saw right after this pick, Jordyn Tyson. But if I'm the Saints, you can get another receiver to pair with Chris Olave. You can get 2. This is the draft. If you need receiver, double down and get 2. But for the Saints, Jeremiyah Love, right? And then you still have Alvin Kamara under contract for at least another year before you can really get that wiggle room to move off of it, right? But I think he's even said he wants to stay in New Orleans, and maybe he takes a pay cut, restructures, whatever, to stay there. Either way, if I'm Tyler Shuck, I feel really good about this pick because I can walk out. There's going to be moments I think Kellen Moore might decide come out and deuce 2 running backs in the backfield in shotgun. And that's Alvin Kamara and Jeremiyah Love. And you can split both of these guys out wide in the slot. They can run routes. They catch the football. And then they're both big play threats, especially Love. We know he's got a sprinter background. We know he knows how to take the top off and really gash you once the football is in his hands. He's got good vision. He sees it well. He's got enough phone booth elusiveness. All of that, man. Guys, I'm telling you, all of it. So I think this pick would be a great fit. I love this pick for the New Orleans Saints because you get a big play maker that's going to lighten the load and take some of that weight off the shoulders of a Tyler Shuck, okay? At pick number 9, the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Like, you're not supposed to be here picking number 9 overall, but, man, getting Jordyn Tyson, my wide receiver 1. And, yes, I hear you. I can already read your comments on YouTube or see you tweet at me. Go ahead and at me on Twitter. I'll never call it the other thing. But, yes, you could do that, right? And I get it. It's the medicals, the CLs that he messed up back in 2022, 2023. He fractured his collarbone in 2024 last year going into the Big 12 championship game before they played Texas and everything. And then this year he dealt with the hamstrings. I get it, guys. But one thing I'm going to wait on is the medicals. The best medical reports that you're going to get come out of Indianapolis in about 2 weeks at the scouting combine. I am going to wait on that for our guy, Jordyn Tyson. Okay. I want to wait on that. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I hear y'all. But I want to wait on that. Getting Jordyn Tyson, I still think he's a top 15 player regardless. Getting Jordyn Tyson to the Kansas City Chiefs, I think this is a situation where you reset the order and you put people and pieces in place. I think you allow Xavier Worthy, who I still think could be a really big impact player. You allow him to develop, okay? Allow him to develop, guys. Honest to God, let him develop as that kind of wide receiver 3. Wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. I think you allow Rashee Rice to be that power slot. If I don't know if he's in any trouble right now. I didn't look, but if he's still there, cool. He could be that wide receiver too, be that power slot, that chain mover, stuff like that. Jordyn Tyson would give them the best of everything in terms of speed, twitch, route running, can play in the slot. He's strong, all of that, right? And with Pat Mahomes working to come back in week 1, if he does that, like Jordyn Tyson with Andy Reid calling plays, that would be chef's kiss. I would love that so much because Tyson is such a fantastic player. Again, yes, you got to figure out the medical situation. People will talk about his yak. I'm gonna break down his profile. Don't worry, we're gonna get into all that and everything. That's why you got to watch the film. You got to watch the film and grade throws and stuff, guys. Not just grade the receiver. What kind of throw did he get, right? But we'll talk about it. Point is, the Kansas City Chiefs will hit a home run with this situation, getting a wide receiver that can come in and develop into that number one weapon and target that will allow everybody else to play their role. And then you got a well-rounded room. But let's close this thing out. Number 10, Cincinnati Bengals getting Mansour Delane. Mansour Delane is one of the best cornerbacks. He's like, if Jamar McCoy is healthy and ready to go, it's between those two, 1A, 1B. Mansour, I saw this guy in person, locked down in Clemson. He moves well, quick-footed, fluid hips. He can sink and drive. He's so instinctful, and he's got good vision, whether it's zone eyes from depth and everything, or he's playing tight man-to-man coverage and he's in the hip pocket. You got to be weary with targeting him because he also can make plays on the football. And for me, the Bengals have to start factoring in the defense, getting this defense to just be complementary. I'm not saying you got to hold teams to 17. Just don't give up 35. Hold them to 24. It's fine. You got a lot of weapons. Joe Burrow's going to put up the points, baby. Hold them to 24, 21 on a good day. Okay? And then, hey, if you get 17, Joe Burrow puts up 35, it's an easy day at the office. But getting a guy like Mansour Delane that could play on the outside, that could play also in the slot, he can move around, he can do different things, and he's just a very good cornerback, guys. I'm telling you, I love corners who play great in phase and don't panic out of phase, right? Like he's one of those guys that you run it like he gets beat at the line. Your receiver's running that dagger concept, that deep in cut. You throw it early, thinking it's all good. He doesn't panic because he's playing trail. He's in trail position, and he sees the break coming, and he just breaks with the receiver, undercuts it, interception. It's those type of plays that he can make by also locking down number one wide receivers and playing really good coverage overall. But guys, that is our show. Went through the top 10 picks of our latest post-Super Bowl mock draft over at Bleacher Report. We went through picks 1 through 4, and then 5 through 7, and picks 8 through 10. Guys, go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. Remember, coming up later on this week, I will be coming back with picks 11 through 21. And then later on this week as well, picks 22 through 32. I'm going to break those picks down from our mock draft. But on tomorrow's show, Keith will be back. We're going to do the scouting profile as we get closer and closer to the combine, the scouting profile of edge rusher, defensive end, Rueben Bain Jr. out of Miami. So, guys, come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.